Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video. Today's our video, we are back at it to break down, react and discuss the latest Rangers game. A Rangers game, by the way, that the clean sheet streak continued. And yes, that took me 4 times to nail that. But diving right into the old game recap then, shall we? When the starting 11 was announced, there was one man's name on there that had everyone talking before the game. Now, John McLaughlin shouldn't be that man that you're surprised to see, especially if you tune into this channel, as we discussed that yesterday, saying the big man was in and amongst his sticks as Alan McGregor picked up that knock versus Bayer Leverkusen. So it's not big John McLaughlin, it's no fantastic Leon who was back in at that left centre back spot after Hollander put in a man in match-esque performance versus Leverkusen. No, it wasn't them. It was the man up top, ladies and gentlemen, by the name of Alfredo Morelos. Now, if you did catch the video yesterday, you would have already known my personal preference for the striking role was Big Cedric, because it ticked a lot of boxes, but I wouldn't be surprised or disappointed if it was Alfredo Morelos, because until his valuation is met, he is still a Rangers player, so he may as well be amongst it and doing what he does best. And I'm just so thankful that I get to sit here and talk to you and say that the wee man was back at it, ladies and gentlemen, and got his goals his performance deserved. But before we actually get there and talk about the goals, let's talk about the game recap then, shall we? And as expected, it was a very, very positive start from Rangers. A couple of very quick attacking moves right within the first 60 seconds of this game eventually led to a very dangerous free kick. Now, I know what everyone's thinking. We've all got Barisic in our fantasy team. Let Barisic take free kicks versus Mirren. It rejuvenated his career and just turned him into what he is right now by scoring versus Mirren. Let us do that. But unfortunately it wasn't. Hadji ends up taking it, but it's actually fantastically blocked by the wall as well. The boy rises like a salmon and stops it. But that wasn't the closest Hadji got, because less than 2 minutes later, Ryan Jack and Barisic does very, very well down the left-hand side, and it ends up being Ryan Jack who gets the ball played into him in that left-hand side. And he just lifts a beautiful cross in sort of the most dangerous area in the box. The goalkeeper can't come out for it. Alfredo Morelos actually tries to bring it down on his chest, and he brings it down perfectly for Hadji, who unfortunately swipes at the ball, and it safely goes to Anik. And that right there, that guy's name, Anik, you're going to be hearing that a lot throughout the game recap, because if you watch that game of football, you would have known that he stopped this from being a bona fide pumping with save after save after save. Honestly, by half time, I was sick of the sheer sound of his name. But full credit to him anyway, because it was a fantastic performance. It was a very good save in the 11th minute from Alfredo Morelos after Hadji played a beautifully weighted pass in behind. It's a wee bit to the right hand side of the goal. You're not really expecting Morelos to score for there, but it hits so well and Anik is there to answer it. The exact same combination is at it again, and it eventually leads to Morelos' shot being blocked. The rebound then falls to Aribo, who tries to catch Anik out at his bottom left, but Anik is there to save again. And yeah, after about 16 minutes, you went, oh no, it's one of these types of game. We spoke about that yesterday. He was coming here with a point to prove to Steven Gerrard that they should never ever have let him go for free. And I think he did that through the 90 minutes, and he certainly did that in his next highlight, where, for me, it was the second best save of the night. It's down on the right hand side. Joe Aribo does very, very well. Flips onto that left hand side, passes to Alfredo Morelos, whose first touch is very good, and he turns and hits a snapshot. It looks like it's gone in all the way, but big Jack Anik just throws his stupid big paw out there and just claws it. And not only does he save it, it gets it right out, so there's no rebounds either. It's a sign of a good goalkeeper, and he unfortunately showed that all afternoon. But from that latest save from Anik, we actually have to go to the 90th minute, where again we are piling people forward, but it's actually St Mirren that catches cold on the counter-attack, as I think it was actually Joe Aribo who lost the ball. But anyway, it goes and they end up in behind our defence as the ball gets beyond Connor Goldson, and Leon Balogun, almost a carbon copy of last week versus Aberdeen, nearly identical. It looks like the player's gone, but Balogun just comes in strolling, just absolutely nails a perfectly timed slide challenge well, because if he doesn't get that perfectly timed, it's a red card and he's off the park, ladies and gentlemen. But he times it to perfection. It's a great last ditch, last man effort, and it's just a wee underline of how fantastic he is as well. But it's my great pleasure to say that little scare there where they did actually get beyond us didn't rattle us. In fact, we just got the ball down still. Ryan Kent was skilling and thrilling, trying to make things happen. Did it always come off? No, but he was always positive every single time he got the ball. We're going to jump just a couple minutes ahead, because we finally deservedly took the lead after they had everyone in their box. They blocked the shot not only once, not only twice, but 3 times, ladies and gentlemen. And after the 3rd block, it eventually falls to the wee man Alfredo Morelos, and he just takes a touch and he absolutely drills it across the goal. Now, some people were trying to say that was a shot and it was wide and it was a bad shot, but I actually didn't think so. I think, as being a centre forward that Morelos is, he knows exactly where he would want the ball and he delivers it there, and it's almost an impossible task to defend when it's whipped in with that much quality and in that position. And what happens from that fantastic cross from Alfredo Morelos? It is deflected in to the own net before Connor Goldson is there to slap it in, which I would have personally loved as I'm a Connor Goldson guy, but I'll take a wee OG there and full props to Alfredo Morelos for creating that goal with sheer quality from that delivery. And because we finally got the breakthrough, it was now down to St Mirren to actually get out and try and play a wee bit of football, but they said, nah, let's just hang in to half time, and hang in they done. Just barely, because we forced Anik into making another couple excellent saves. The first one is in the 35th minute where Joe Rebo initially loses the ball out, but he jumps right back up, and before the St Mirren guy can clear it, he just nips in, uses his intelligence, he picks his head up, he finds Ryan Kent, who takes a touch, sets himself up on his weak foot, and his rasping shot is that for making it 2. Now, if that wasn't close enough to making it 2, let's go to almost the goal of the season, then, that I'm sure a lot of people actually want to talk and discuss down in the comment section below, because it's a corner from Rangers. It gets whipped in, the ball falls to Tavernier outside the box. He takes one touch, to just so nonchalant, just chips up with the inside of his foot. He waits for it, technique's beautiful, rasps a volley. It looks like it's gone in all the way. I'm expecting it to go in, but Anik is there to make a very, very good save. Yes, it wasn't top bins material, but the way he hit it, the swerve, the power, I honestly thought Anik had no chance. And I just sat back and I went, I hate Anik. Because can you imagine how big my smile would have been if I could have sat here and said Tavernier scored a volley like that today? It would probably been this big. But we'll never know. We'll never know. But if one fullback doing a chip-up volley wasn't enough for us, BB went, hold on, Tavernier, just chill out, son. And he tried it 3 minutes later as well from the exact same sort of scenario. It's a set piece, it drops to the edge of the box. Barisic goes, aye, I can do it too. Flips up, tries a volley, but this time it's not a brilliant save from Jack Anik. It's actually a very, very good block from the defender, who is brave and makes sure he doesn't let that go anywhere near his own goals. And that was sort of it for first half action. It was pure and utter domination in every single aspect of the word. The only disappointment thing is, getting to half time was, but we're only 1-0 up, and Clive perfectly said that on Rangers TV as well, who I thought, him and Tomo, by the way, excellent combination. What a debut for him as well. But halftime comes and goes, and we all know 1-0 is never ever a comfortable scoreline to have, especially if you're a Rangers fan. Check these grey hairs, ladies and gentlemen. That's a lot of years worth of these nippy bum time moments. And within the first, 40 seconds of the half, when my mind was barely processing the fact there was no longer any crowd noise and I was trying to work that out, St Mirren started with a rocket up their arse, clearly coming out to go after us right away, and we, as an entire team, was just slightly off it within the first 5 minutes of this half, and we looked a little bit like we were coasting on it, but St Mirren came after us. They created a very, very good opportunity with a great cross, into the box. McLaughlin sort of flaps at it, but you can take nothing away from his reactionary save, because after he flaps it, he's straight back up, his position's perfect, and he shows that great shot-stopping ability that we spoke about in his player reaction video. Now, after that save and after our slow start, we just slowly but surely started to heat up just a little bit, and I thought this is where Tavernier really started to come alive. Who was delivering in the first half, it wasn't great, let's be brutally honest, but I thought in the second half he whipped in some absolutely beauties. It's just unfortunate we didn't have enough people in the right positions at the right time. That's where I just wish we were a little bit braver, especially at home. Why can we not just go 2 up top and absolutely blitz teams? Now, I'm not taking anything away from the result, absolutely buzzing, but we could really, really be doing some damage here, especially at home with the deliveries we have from Tavernier and Barisic, if we had more people in and around the area. But again, I'm not going to complain too much. I'm going to be sleeping just fine tonight with 3 points tucked underneath the pillow. Speaking of tucked, by the way, we need to jump right to the 69th minute, because it's quite ironic. Despite how brilliantly we played in the first half, we couldn't go ahead and get that second goal. Well, in the second half, we were just a little bit off it and starting to slip of the incredible tempo we had. We ended up making it 2 and finishing the game off. And the way we did that was through an assist from the skipper Tavernier, who whips in a beautiful corner. It's placed sort of perfectly, if I'm being brutally honest. It's got pace, it's power, it's gone down. It's a very, very difficult one for the goalkeeper to come in, collect, and Morelos is there, meets it perfectly, bounces it, and it's beyond. Anik, and I was so happy for him, I was so happy for Tav, and I was just so happy for everyone because the bum wasn't quite as nippy soon as it got to 2. And thankfully, after the second goal went in, St Mirren went, right, let's abandon everyone in the box and let's try and just play a wee bit of football. In the second, they took the handbrake off, ladies and gentlemen, and started creating gaps. We finished the game and made it free after a wee bit of brilliance from Joe Arebo here. Some people are taking a wee bit of shots in the game at him, but I thought this pass right here to make the third goal, it tells you everything you need to know about the laddie. Because when he receives the ball, it doesn't even have a look to see where Barisic is, but it's one touch over at that left foot, and he slides a beautiful through pass in the gap of St Mirren right to Barisic. Now, I originally thought Barisic took too many touches here, but thankfully for us all, if you've got him in Fantasy League by the way, his resulting cross eventually finds its way, trickles across the line, and Morelos is there, and make it 2 for him and 3 for Rangers. Which I was absolutely delighted about, because in yesterday's video, if you check the picture I used of Alfredo, it was the cheeky hat-trick, because I had a feeling if he was on, there could be a possibility of him grabbing a hat-trick, but that was quickly extinguished, ladies and gentlemen, as Gerrard subbed him off the second he scored that second goal. When you talk about crown jewels, you talk about the size of your coconuts. Can you imagine taking Alfredo off when he's on a hat-trick? Well, we all know who runs the team, and it's Steven Gerrard, because that's what he did. He took him off and he put big Cedric on for the last 15 or so minutes, which we were all absolutely delighted at, because up to this moment there was balls getting whipped in, there was, oh man, 6'2" target man, if he was there, bang, chance. But unfortunately for us all, and for him, Rangers just abandoned the crossing ability, just gave up. There was only one cross into the box when Cedric was on the park, which is just tremendous banter for Rangers Football Club, because the second we have a target man on, we go, let's not cross it. That's madness. Now, all joking on that aside, of course, we were just seeing the game out and just playing through the actual stages and making sure we still had that clean sheet. But there was one last chance to actually break down and discuss, and it fell to big Calvin Bassey. But I wouldn't even necessarily say it was a chance. I thought he'd done very well to make contact with it and force another fantastic save of Anakin. Just that little breakdown was the perfect summary of this entire game. Good build-up play from Rangers, a solid effort on goal, but Anik starting the game as he finished it with a fantastic save. And that was it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. 3-0 to Rangers and 3 points in the boot. Now, before I go ahead and pick my man of the match, there is a couple of other things that I do want to mention very, very briefly. I want to talk about Big Leon, who I know some of his passes weren't exactly perfection, but I just thought the way he handled that physical confrontation with Big Obika, who is a monster who has caused us a lot of problems in the past, he completely shut him down and fed him his dinner the entire freaking game. That's a massive plus for me in this game. I love him and Goldton's partnership. I know people harp on me all the time because I'm a Connor Goldton guy, but I think he is looking very, very solid. Yes, Leon's strolling it, but so is the big man next to him, Connor Goldton, who doesn't need to worry about that left centre-back spot. But my overall man of the match in the game, despite how promising and how good Barisic was all night, my man of the match for the game, don't know if you will agree, I think everyone will, it has to be Alfredo Morelos, involved in every single goal, scoring 2 himself and making the first. And with all that being said, that is the game recap, and that is the old man of the match. Now all that's left is to hand the reins over to you guys, because if you haven't done so already, I want to know your thoughts and opinions are on this game and who was your man of the match. And while you guys are actually sharing your opinion, I will jump over to Twitter and hear from them. So over to Twitter then, and there's still over 48 minutes remaining, yet there's 1,702 votes. That's sensational, nation. Thank you so much for getting involved. Now, the 3 players that I actually listed in the poll was Balogun, Barisic, Alfredo Morelos, and the 4th choice is open as other, as always. And 2% only votes for other, so I must have done okay regarding my man of the match choices. Balogun is actually in 3rd place with 19% of the vote, Barisic with 26%, but the far and away winner with 54% is your boy Alfredo Morelos. So let's see what he's had to say then, shall we? Deaky Neil's the first one, and of course he is. And Big Deek writes in, control performance, hope the goals now give Buffalo the confidence he's been missing all year. John writes in, only seen the second half, but my man of the match is Anik, but for a Rangers player, I'm going to go with Morelos. You know what, John? I respect that, mate. I really do, but aye, Man of the match, Morelos. Kerr writes in, for me it was Morelos, played very well and scored 2 very good goals. Balogun has shown why he started and Barisic with his usual great performance. The lads did really well today. Thought we should have got a couple more goals. I completely agree with that one. Stuart says, comfortable performance, 3 points and a clean sheet. Morelos man of the match for me, 2 goals and assist. We'll love to see that. CJ Stevie B writes in, BB for me. There's a lot of B's there, I heard it. But he writes, but special mention to Alfie also. Good solid performance and happy to get the well-deserved 3 points. I thought it was weird that when we brought on a 6'3" striker, the crosses stopped. Anyway, one happy bear today. Yep, I understand what you're saying there, mate. I think we just sort of started to see the game out. So I'm sure Cedric will be quite irritated that we stopped doing the crosses, but I'm sure he'll get his chance very, very soon. Paul is the next one in. He writes in, it's got to be Morelos, CJ. Scored 2.5 goals the day. Kenny writes in, glad to see Morelos showed everyone he's still got it. Loved the little Suki Thumb celebration as well. Was 100% my man of the match as he showed throughout the whole game. He wanted it. Andy the photo doc, the man who done that picture right there, writes in, I voted Barisic, but what a game ex-Rangers player Anik had. Kept it very, very respectable. Rory writes in, Fredo was great. Only negative was the crowd noise guy getting subbed at half time. And the last one we'll read it. Ed writes, let's go all the way up here. Let's go all the way down here. We'll stop it right here. And it actually comes from Kimberly. And Kimberly writes in, Leon Balogun for me. He is everything we needed. Also the minutes Bassey came on the pitch, he played brilliant as well. I rate the guy so much. Great to see the wee man get his goals today as well. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Now you've heard from the people, you've heard from myself. If you haven't done so already, you know what to do by now. And as always, I've been CJ Over 92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.